Have any of us cheated or no?
I never. If I was cheating, Darcey, look, I look like a cheater.
No.
I swear.
You are queen.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
No, thank you, ma'am. No. I don't do that, thank you, ma'am.
I never see Brandon shut down like that from me before. It makes me feel so scared.
You met this guy?
You met the guy?
Yes.
Where you met
Where?
him?
Have a big muscle.
He looks like another man. That's
He
what he looks
have
like.
big
He looks like someone else.
muscle.
He's have big muscles.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years, and I have never, ever seen where he lives.
Well, we've only been getting along for 2 hours.
Name is Matt.
Right.
He is my same age. Same
Does he work out at the gym?
Yes, he work out. That's where.
Have you been to his house?
No, I haven't.
You haven't been to his
No,
house?
I
At this point, I'm convinced that Jasmine and the producers have a long con, okay? They're putting every single piece together to make it acceptable that she is pregnant while still married to Gino. I mean, all of this honestly feels like Jasmine is a mastermind. So it just makes me think, is this divine timing or is this just a massive group of editors on her side? Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss The Last Resort, and it just keeps getting juicier and juicier, the things that we find out, particularly with the whole Jasmine&Gino saga, but really, this is a group of hot messes. We're gonna jump straight into it. Before we do, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We pick up at the scene of the crime after Jasmine, drops the bombshell to Gino that not only does she want an open relationship, she already has someone in mind. And so she's by herself crying after he walks off. And she's just like, I hurt Gino. He's so hurt. That's not what I wanted to do. And I just can't help but feel like that is all guilt. Because allegedly, she was already cheating at the time. We see Julia run to Gino to try to be on Jasmine's side, but Julia is making everything worse. Can I just say that? She is not helpful. She's here in front of Gino being like, Matt is all Jasmine has. That's not going to make him feel better about the connection that has been established. And it's just overall a sucky situation, right? Like, Jasmine has been awful to Gino, but Gino has also been awful to Jasmine consistently for the last 9 months. He won't even touch her. This is personally my hell. At this point, there's little fires everywhere. Everyone is beefing with each other. It's time to pack it up and go home. We see them divide and conquer with the vans. All the girls are enabling Jasmine. Jasmine's like, do I look like a cheater? Could you believe that he called me a cheater? Meanwhile, they all FaceTimed the guy. So yeah, Jasmine, you do look like a cheater because you are still married and your husband has not consented to an open relationship. Whether he deserves that or not, that is what you're doing, So they're all, coddling her in the van. For some reason, Julia rides the van with all of the guys. And Gino is telling them, that what Jasmine proposed. And here comes Julia being like, well, I FaceTimed him. Yeah, she's not cheating. But the guy, he's very attractive. And he's more muscular than all of you. Yeah. Julia, if you're going to be on Jasmine's team, be on Jasmine's team. But the whole going back and forth is not cute to me. Be loyal to somebody. The fact that you are with Jasmine being like, you're not a cheater. You have every right to do this. You're here kikiing with Matt on FaceTime to then report to Gino? That was shady. Just crazy because Gino's like, yeah, now it makes sense that it's some guy from the gym. She spends all her time at the gym. And yeah, that is foul. That is happening right under your nose. But isn't she getting rides from Matt because Gino won't drive her to the gym? Do you guys remember that fight in Happily Ever After? Also, something that I want to note, you guys, in between the sheets, Jasmine said that she and Matt developed a stronger bond because he was filling in the gaps that Gino wasn't. Figuratively and physically. Allegedly. But she mentioned that not only was he driving her to and from the gym, he was sometimes buying her groceries. And I think that all jokes aside, that is serious. That is a serious thing. Gino wasn't fulfilling that need. I know that Gino is cheap, but I think that that's crazy to draw the line at groceries. She's vegan. She obviously needs certain foods. She can't live off of TV dinners like you. So I thought that was alarming when she said that. I'm like, This is very deep. But again, Julia's not helping the situation. She's telling the guys like how Jasmine met this guy, and Gino does not feel good. Like, this is making him feel worse. He's like, damn, like she's already introducing him to other people. Like, this is much deeper than she's leading on. Like, I'm not comfortable with that. And the next big scene, we see Julia wake up Sophie and Rob like they're her parents. She apparently spent the night there because, as you guys recall, she dropped the bombshell to Brandon, her husband, that she filed for her parents' visa to come. Her parents are not together, they hate each other, and they would be living under Brandon's roof. And it is not a visit. She's saying that she wants them here to live. That is a lot to ask of your husband when it sounds like he's fitting the bill, like without his consideration. And so she's here running away from her issues. And she said that the last time she spoke to Brandon, he was saying that he was going to leave the resort. So she's like, if he's leaving the resort, we're not going to be together. And Sophie is like, really? Like, you guys are not going to be together? And she's like, no, he's the only person that I have here. We're here to work out our problems. If he leaves and runs away from our problems, I'm going to go back home because I don't have anyone else here. And like, I felt really bad for her because obviously everyone needs support. Everyone needs community. The only people that he has here are his folks. And also, like, I was like, Julia, you haven't gone out to like spread your wings. You haven't gone out and made some friends of your own. You've been here for some time. I know that it's easier said than done, but she just seems like such a vivacious person. I don't know, like, I'm like, really? You haven't made any friends? And I guess that's the sucky part of like making a life around one person, you know, when you kind of lose yourself. And maybe that's why she resents him a little bit. I don't know. But we do see her go back to the room, and she knew that Brandon had threatened to leave. So I was a little annoyed by her being like, what are you doing, when she sees him packing? And he's like, I see no use of us being here. And she's like, why are you going to run away from our problems? And I felt for Brandon because he's like, every day that we're here, you drop something else. I can't handle it. Like, one point you're telling me that you cheated on me. The next point you're saying that you made this huge life decision without me. Like, you won't have sex with me. He didn't say that, but like, really, you guys, she won't have sex with him. She doesn't want to consider having children with him. She barely likes him. Like, it just, there's a huge disconnect, and I don't like Brandon, but I too would feel like shit regarding this. And honestly, the man is like one revelation away from a heart attack. Like, she needs to take it easy. Yes, like I understand that this is the place to unleash everything. You're at therapy. But damn, like, how much was Julia keeping from Brandon? It just makes you think, like, do you guys not talk about anything when you're at home? Like, you really left everything for this fake little therapy resort? That's much more concerning, and I really hope that they work on their communication. But I will say, I don't foresee them ending their marriage, and I think that they both act like children, so they do need therapy. And I hope that they can stay to get whatever they need from whatever these people offer. And she does convince him to stay. There's going to be another group therapy. And she's like, see how you feel about it, and then you can decide if you want to leave. And he's like, are you sure you're not going to drop another bombshell on me? And she looks a little shocked because he is really like numb, checked out, and ready to pack up. So I think that that rattled her a little bit. And she's like, yeah, I promise. And so he pauses on the packing for now. Next scene is the whole Darcey, Stacey, and Florian saga. Stacey actually slept in Darcey's room. She didn't even want to look at Florian, and like, understandable, she was pissed. But again, this is what Darcey wanted. They literally are always so strong when they have a common enemy, and it just sucks that it has to be Stacey's husband. Or when they turn on Georgie, like, it just sucks that it always has to be on their significant other. Literally, like, nothing makes them stronger. But it's time for her eventually to leave, right? And she prances herself barefoot back into her room. She goes in, and you could tell that Florian really thought that she was gonna be rejuvenated and cooled off. And she's like, no, like, I may be well rested, but I'm still upset with you. And Florian is just like, what are you mad about? What are you doing this? What are you doing that? And I'm like, Florian, you have no grounds to be bitchy this morning. Like, you don't. From the jump, these two are bickering, and she's like, Florian, I need you to tell me all of the details from the top. And again, he says that, you know, this girl was stumbling home. He didn't even walk her to the apartment. He just like made sure that like she got to her floor. Stacey is like, do you see why I don't believe you? Do you see that You have a pattern. But he insists that he didn't do anything wrong. But we get to the root of this issue. Stacey's like, listen, I know that you are very chivalrous. I know that you are always a gentleman. The root of this is that he is Captain Save-A-Ho. We've seen it, the way that he's like the Natalie whisperer. And I've said it before. He is so kind, so understanding to every woman in the world except his wife. And so she's like, I need you to show me the same kind of tenderness. And that is a valid request. And so he's upset that he's, had to work so hard to get this trust. And he's like, I'm not trying to lose it. But she's like, Florian, we really need to work at this. And I just felt so bad because Florian's default is to be defensive when his wife literally just needs a hug. And so she tells him, she's like, you want me to be soft? You need to come at me with softness. And so he gives her like a lame sorry, but then of course blames Darcey for blowing this up. And she's like, yeah, listen. If I get cold hard proof that you cheated on me, you know it's over, right? And let's see. I hope that it doesn't happen because I do think that there's love here, but I do think that he's another man-child. I really like him when he's not being that, so I hope that he can turn it around, But the next scene is Jasmine&Gino. And these two are like ships in the night in their hotel room, and when they have to like pass each other, they're like angry roommates, okay? So she's like, listen, from what you said last night, it sounds like we weren't together anymore and we have a group therapy. So like, should we even bother going to the group therapy? Gino is like, you broke my heart yesterday. You broke it. And she's like, yeah, I understand. But like, do you understand why I want to sleep with someone? Because you're not giving me any other choice. Y'all, the way that Jasmine talks about this open relationship, like, I'm doing this for us. Like she's like this like martyr, like she's going to war for this man by sleeping with someone else. Like, Gino, I don't want to get a divorce from you. I want us to be together. And this is the only way. It is bananas to me. I mean, that's what it sounds like to my monogamous ears. Like, I'm like, you have to be two consenting individuals in this. And that's not what's happening, And Gino makes the fatal flaw, and maybe it's not a fatal flaw. Maybe he needs to know these things, but like, I'm too sensitive. Gino is like, I need to know everything about this guy. Tell me everything. Who is this guy? Have you been to his house? Where do you guys go after the gym? And Jasmine, she looks a little nervous, but she's trying to be calm. And she's like, we just go to the cafe across from the gym. Like, we met at the gym. He's a really good friend. Gino's like, are you attracted to this guy? And she's like, well, he's not ugly, but I love you, Gino. I don't love him. And Gino's like, I hope you don't love him. Like, but I think this is the part where I'm like, Jasmine, you are full of poop, okay? Gino is like, how would you feel if I told you that I wanted to be with you and still sleep around? And she's like, Gino, it has nothing to do with Matt. It's about us. We could both do this. Pause on that, Jasmine, because you are claiming that the only reason you want an open relationship is because Gino isn't sleeping with you. Your jealous ass would never be okay with him giving his peen to someone else and not you. So that is immediately a lie. Also, Jasmine is jealous of her own shadow. She was jealous about the fact that when she went to Gino's house, the old paint was picked out by his ex-wife. When they were first introduced to the series, do you guys remember how she pulled a Mary and Brandon? That she would always insist to be on FaceTime with him, even when he was picking up food deliveries? And she would be upset when he would be a little too nice to the cashier? You're telling me that that same lady would be okay with him putting his peen somewhere else? Full of it. I think that for me, that was like the craziest thing that came out in the episode. You are just such a liar. I'm just like, Jasmine, let's be effing for real. But anyway, it's time for the group therapy, and the therapist wants everyone to basically say like a reason why they do trust their partner, whether it's small or big, just like something to start on a positive note. Immediately, Sophie is just BSing this. She's like, I trust that Rob will take care of our son. You mean the dog that he has had for 8 years before you guys were together? Yes, he's gonna take care of that dog. Like, again, this woman does not love this man. And Rob is literally like, are you serious? Brandon says that he trusts that Julia will do what's best for their family. I think that that is a wild thing to say when she literally requested her parents without speaking to you. Florian is not taking any of this seriously. He says that he trusts her with everything. And I do believe that he believes that because she does take care of every single thing. He is kind of like her husband child. But this therapy is all about specificity, and in every single session, he avoids it like the plague. He's not taking this seriously. Gino says that he trusts that Jasmine loves him and that she would brighten up a room. And I'm like, Gino, I think that that is you overcompensating in this moment because she literally told you that she wanted to F someone else. So I don't know about that. Natalie and Josh are apparently having a good day. So she's like, I trust that Josh is a genius. And everyone's like, girl, what? Like, what Kool-Aid are you drinking, you know? And those were like the main ones that I could think of. But then the next part of this session is to say something that you have a trust issue in and what the right band-aid for it would be. Florian and Stacey say that their issue is like the lack of listening in their relationship and that a band-aid would be fixing their tone and making more eye contact when they speak, which I think is valid. Communication 101. Josh and Natalie are basically being like, our issue is that we disrespect each other and we don't want to disrespect each other. So the band-aid would be to come up with a safe word. Their safe word is infinity because Natalie loves it. She says that she finds that word in so many spells. And so it seems like, okay, they came up with that together. And when the therapist is like, so you both agree on that? Natalie's like, well, you know, we don't want to disrespect each other, but it is disrespect that you haven't brought me to your house in 3 years. To which Josh says, well, you know, we've only been getting along for 2 hours. How embarrassing. While I wouldn't invite Natalie to my house either, she does not deserve this. This man literally is humiliating her. And so when it gets to Brandon, he's like, I feel like she needs to make me feel better, period. I feel like she has put me through the ringer here, and what would make me feel better? What would be my band-aid? She needs to go and get a second opinion for her fertility issues. And I think that Julia can sense that, like, she has pushed too far and she agrees that she will get it. And you could see that Brandon didn't expect it to be such an easy thing. And he starts getting emotional and then she starts crying too. And they hug it out. We'll see how that goes. When it gets to Rob and Sophie, again, these two are checked out. Rob says that they need to do more check-ins. Okay, good luck. Jasmine&Gino though. Gino says she has been sleeping out a lot. I don't know if to trust her really. She says that she wants an open relationship and, you know, I'm considering it. But when he says that he's considering an open relationship, the way that Jasmine turned her head so fast, but he says in order for him to consider things, he just needs to know where she's at because he feels like she's moving sus. So he needs her to share her location. Y'all, they're so over. We know they're over, but they are so over. And I think the therapist tries to call his bluff and they're like, so sharing the location would make you consider that? Like it would make you feel better? And Jasmine's like, answer the question. And that's where they leave it. I cannot wait for this reunion because I feel like that is when we'll really get all of the answers of how we are where we are today. The Last Resort is such a hot mess, but I think it's one of my favorites. Please let me know your thoughts, you guys. After I post this video, the next one that I put will be about the new season of 90 Day Fiancé. I'm catching up on those episodes and my plan is to recap the latest episode, but also like give you a little blurb about what I think about the couples given the previous episodes. But yeah, I'm really excited for all of the 90 Day material. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.